King Gwangaegun and his men, including his bodyguard, the greatest swordsman in Joseon Tae-yul, are escaping from the palace, after the king's top officials staged a coup. They escape to a hidden cabin in the hillside, but are quickly tracked down by the opposing forces. Tae-yul and the other guards try to fend off a volley of arrows where the two other guards are killed. With no fear in his eyes, the young swordsman faces the now massive force led by Min Sung-ho, a highly skilled swordsman. They urge the young bodyguard to step aside, but when he refuses, Min Sung-ho steps up to face him. In a flash the two trade swift strikes, with amazing speed. Tae-yul's evasive skills are unmatched, but Min Sung-ho is steady and strong. Min Sung-ho's strength gets the upper hand and Tae-yul is knocked back, but quickly jumps back into battle. 16 years later, Tae-yul is an old man living in the mountains with his daughter Tae-oka. Since his battle with Min, he has almost lost vision in his eyes, which is worsening by the day and affecting his health. Tae-oka insists and they visit a monk who tells them to get a special herb for his eyes or his health will deteriorate quickly. Though Tae-oka insists that he seek help, Tae-yul is reluctant to leave the mountain as he knows it is far more dangerous than she understands. Not realizing that he wants to protect her, Tae-oka is determined to go even if by herself. So Tae-yul eventually relents and the two set off to seek the medicine. Meanwhile, after the invasion of Joseon by the corrupt Qing dynasty, the Qing have taken many of their citizens as slaves and the officials fear that they will have to hand over their children as tributes. Min Sung-ho, now resigned from official office, serves simply as an advisor to the head of the royal court Lee Mok-yo. They have heard rumors of an organization within the Qing court named the Hwangbang whose master is said to head the slave trade of the Joseon people and fear they may be scheming something. Tae-yul and Tae-oka get to the city where she is overjoyed at all the new things she is experiencing. Tae-oka is checking out some bracelets when they overhear a man begging for the freedom of his wife who is being taken away by thugs of the Qing. The thugs mock the old man but the fed-up citizens begin to surround them, raising their tools. Just then, the three top warriors from the Hwangbang ride up on horses and scold their thugs for causing a scene. The old man tries to beg for his wife but gets bitch-slapped to the ground. Soldiers from the Joseon turn up and there is a standoff, but the Joseon soldiers soon realize they have no power and leave. Tae-oka is upset at the treatment of the citizens but Tae-yul warns her not to get involved before they both leave. The Joseon royal court and Lee Mok-yo get a visit from the leader of the Hwangbang and cousin to the emperor, Guru Tai. He mocks them for not learning his language as the Qing is now their leader, and also mocks their tea. He threatens that he will get them to comply even if it means using brutal force to get it done. Min has had enough of his threats and makes his presence known, and Guru Tai notes that he has heard rumors of this great swordsman. Wanting to see Min's abilities for himself, Guru Tai suggests a little sparring battle with one of his men. Lee Mok-yo agrees but orders Min to hold back and not do too much. The two men face each other and the Hwangbang thug immediately jumps into action, underestimating the old man. Min evades his strikes, but when the thug insults his sword play, Min unleashes his techniques. The thug soon realizes he messed up as he is easily pushed back. He charges forward but Guru Tai saves his ass and calls an end to the match. Guru Tai has confirmed Min's skills for himself and thanks him for the show before leaving. As he walks away, his goon thinks that he could have killed Min, but Guru Tai simply laughs at his ignorance. Tae-yul and Tae-oka arrive at a trading post run by trader Hwa Seon, but she reveals that the herbs they are looking for are very costly and only available to those with political connections. Disappointed, Tae-oka and Tae-yul leave. As they walk away, they pass by Guru Tai and the Hwangbang and by his senses Tae-yul knows that they are dangerous people. Guru Tai goes to meet with Hwa Seon, offering a partnership between his slave trade and her trading company but Hwa Seon refuses him. Guru Tai threateningly reveals that he knows about her sword skills but she insists they're just tricks. Tae-oka and Tae-yul are on their way back home when he reveals that he picked up the bracelet she was staring at earlier and she is ecstatic. Tae-yul takes Tae-oka to visit an old woman who used to take care of her when she was younger, in order to rest up for the night before heading back home. Lee Mok-yo meets with Seon, requesting her to find a young girl to help care for his sick mother and Seon thinks she may have met the most suitable candidate. The next day, Min is handing out rice to the poor local people when two fighters from the Hwangbang come by to get him. They meet with Guru Tai who notes how the great swordsman has fallen. He offers Min a position with the Qing army, implying that he could and would release all the Joseon slaves if he should accept. Guru Tai then mocks him for betraying his former king and Min stands threateningly, but Guru Tai reminds him that if anything happens to him the people of Joseon will suffer. Min storms out, and Guru Tai notes how Min has already accepted his offer. Seon informs Tae-oka about Lee Mok-yo's offer to have her join his household as his mother's aide, and Tae-oka is ecstatic, knowing that this would allow her to get the herbs in order to cure her father. They offer to provide boarding for Tae-yul until they get the herbs and his eyes are fixed. As they leave the compound, Min passes by them and notices Tae-oka's ribbon, realizing that he recognizes it from somewhere. Seon and Tae-oka arrive back at her trading company, when she notices her customers running away frightened. She runs inside only to see the Hwangbang goons causing an issue. She scolds them for their vulgar behavior, but one goon stands up threateningly and approaches her. Seon's bodyguard gets in between them and the two try to attack the goon, who turns out to be a really good fighter. Unarmed, he avoids their strikes, taking out the guard first before knocking down Seon with a powerful blow. Another man steps forward, but a stone slaps him in his face. It is Tae-oka who has turned up to defend Seon. The man gets angry, but suddenly Tae-yul steps in between them. He asks for them to forgive Tae-oka, but the goons insist that he get on his hands and knees to apologize. Tae-yul complies, but when they try to attack him, he expertly defends. The fighter with immense strength manages to push Tae-yul outside, but none of his powerful strikes can land. Using just his stick, Tae-yul beats the man back viciously. The others soon realize they're outmatched and back down. In the distance, Min sees the fight and remembers battling a young Tae-yul, where in their battle, shards of sword flew into Tae-yul's eye, which started his blindness. That night, Tae-oka tells him about the plan for her to join the noble family. Tae-yul instead thinks of it as selling out his daughter in order for him to see, but Tae-oka reveals her true intentions of wanting to live like a princess. That night, Min observes Lee Mok-yeo's men meeting in secret. He overhears them revealing that the plan to have a foster child is in fact to have a decoy child for when the Qing king demands children from the nobles as tributes. Hearing this, Min angrily storms away. He is disappointed in the Joseon leadership, remembering why he decided to rebel against King Gwangaegun in the first place for being too weak and surrendering his people to Qing forces. Early the next morning, Tae-oka rises before her father to meet the carriage which will take her to Lee Mok-yeo's residence. She begs the woman in charge to take care of her father as she leaves in tears. Guru Tai and his men intercept a message from Lee Mok-yeo to the Qing king calling out his cruelty in Joseon. He then scolds his men for losing to Tae-yul, but has an army of killers ready to go hunting for the half-blind man. Later, Tae-yul awakens, knowing his daughter is gone. Without much words, he decides to leave and head back to the mountains alone. On his way, Tae-yul passes by a monk, but can immediately smell the bloodlust around him. Suddenly two ninjas attack him. The monk also returns to attack, but Tae-yul is able to take them all out easily. Realizing that Tae-oka is in danger, he rushes back to the city to save his daughter. Meanwhile, Lee Mok-yeo is planning to send his real daughter away when they are ambushed by Guru Tai's ninjas. Tae-oka and Lee Mok-yeo's daughter hear the commotion and try to hide, but end up getting captured and taken outside, where Guru Tai has the others kneeling before him. Guru Tai is then about to kill Tae-oka, thinking she is Lee Mok-yeo's daughter, and Lee just watches and says nothing. Guru Tai's goon then informs him of the plot, and when he then turns his blade on Lee Mok-yeo's real daughter, he cries out for them to stop. Min then reveals himself to them, showing that he has joined forces with Guru Tai due to Lee Mok-yeo's and other Joseon leaders' failure to protect their people. Meanwhile, the Hwangbang have returned to Seon, demanding to know where Tae-yul is. Tae-yul turns up, and using his wooden stick, he proceeds to demolish the man with brutal strikes, before revealing a blade from his wooden stick and using it to kill the thug. Seon reveals that she brought Tae-oka to Lee Mok-yeo, but Tae-yul remembers Lord Lee as a corrupt man. He learns where the other Hwangbang members hang out and decides to pay them a visit. He follows some Qing army goons and sees them enter a brothel. The guard tries stopping him at the door, but Tae-yul kills him and enters, causing the patrons to rush out. He corners one Qing goon who reveals that he took the girls to a slave camp. The man begs for his life, even offering money, but Tae-yul kills him. He then sneaks into the slave camp where one lone soldier foolishly approaches him, but Tae-yul quickly kills him. He finds some about to assault a woman and mercilessly and silently cuts them down. He forces another guard wearing a pink tank top to open the cages, where he finds the madam who gave them a place to stay. She tells Tae-yul that the girls were taken just before he arrived and hands him Tae-oka's bracelet. After burning down the camp and seeing the destruction that the Hwangbang have caused, Tae-yul's anger is ignited. Lee Mok-yeo, having lost his daughter, gathers men, planning to retrieve her even if it means by force. He and his men turn up at the Qing base, where Qing soldiers have gathered to meet them. One of Lee's men is suddenly killed and the others attack, but the Qing army has brought guns to a sword fight and easily wipes out the Joseon soldiers. Just then, Tae-yul wanders into the base. The two Hwangbang skilled fighters launch their attack on him, but Tae-yul defends easily. The fighters then try to combine their attacks, but Tae-yul unleashes a technique and begins to slash them up. The other Qing soldiers hear the commotion and grab their guns, but Tae-yul is too fast, too strong, and manages to predict each attack perfectly. In no time, all the soldiers lay dead at his feet. He has no time to rest as Guru Tai's ninjas turn up with their swords, so Tae-yul jumps into attack mode, slashing his way through the men. He can feel his vision failing, so Taeyul leads the men into a narrow street where he can defend properly. He takes a few slashes and cuts, but reveals why he is the best swordsman ever. Taeyul transforms into beast mode, relying on pure instinct to evade and strike. The surviving Huangbang fighter sees this and runs away in shock. Tired and out of breath, Taeyul finishes off the last ninja before coming face to face with Lee Mokyo, who recognizes him from years prior. Lee Mokyo begs him to save his daughter. Taeyul staggers away. With his injuries and fading vision, he falls to the ground where he sees a vision of Taeoka. The Huangbang fighter returns to Guru Tai, warning him about Taeyul's skills. Guru Tai takes it as an insult and ends up killing the last Huangbang fighter. He plans to go hunting for Taeyul, but Min overhears and warns that Taeyul will come looking for him instead. Taeyul wakes up inside Sion's home, healed from his wounds. She warns him to stay put as he will soon go completely blind, but Taeyul sets off without hesitation. He visits an old sword maker and gets himself a reforged blade before riding towards Guru Tai's base. As he nears it, he encounters Min, who has finally come out to face his old rival, with Guru Tai watching from a distance off. Min thinks that Taeyul stands no chance with his fading eyes and launches an attack, but Taeyul matches him, revealing his technique. The two trade swift blows, cut for cut and power for power. Taeyul then gathers his senses and overpowers Min but refuses to kill him. Guru Tai suddenly kills Min before telling Taeyul to follow him. Guru Tai brings Taeyul to a stage, telling him to win for the release of his child. Guru Tai jumps into action and reveals himself to be a very skilled swordsman, managing to overpower Taeyul and slash him up. Taeyul falls to the ground, but when Guru Tai's girl brings Taeoka out in chains, he rises to his feet in anger. This time, Taeyul's strikes are fierce and powerful, getting a strike on Guru Tai, dropping him. Guru Tai jumps back in returning Taeyul's strikes, but Taeyul suddenly kills the girl holding Taeoka hostage, revealing his plan. Guru Tai angrily charges at Taeoka, but Taeyul stops him and the two battle again. Taeyul manages to damage Guru Tai's hearing and skillfully slices tendon. Guru Tai launches forward once more, but Taeyul throws his sword forward, slicing Guru Tai's neck before impaling him and killing him. Taeyul tries heading towards Taeoka, but his vision finally fades and he goes completely blind. He finally gets to hug her, telling her that it's going to be okay. It is revealed in another flashback that Min was the one who gave Taeyul his sword, and Taeoka is actually the daughter of the late king whom he rescued on the night of the coup. The movie ends with Taeyul and Taeoka slowly making their way down the mountain, with Taeyul declaring that he's ready to see the rest of the world. Remember to subscribe and turn on notifications, so you can watch more movies like this. Thanks for watching.